This is in the national interest that both political parties should commit to ensuring that we move ahead with the infrastructure project, because that is what is the base for our economy. That is critical element here for economy. So you're only going to see me these days at these events. Either I'm about to sign the contract, either we are breaking ground, or we are handing over.
By the way, what kind of contract you're boasting that you're either signing? Is this contract selling out Jamaican land resources and etc.? Because it seems to be the only type of contract you guys signed. And I know it's imperative that both parties work together, but for what reason? If it isn't the reason of bettering the people and the country, I don't think you parties should even get along, seriously. Because anyway, and still a pull a hoax over our eye, and still a pull wool over our eye, so we really can't trust them no matter what. It's not that I'm against them uniting, it's just that I don't believe that them disunified anyway. Me believe says a control opposition. Yeah, meaning that somebody control both these parties. That's why we get trash every time. We get trash Andrew Holness, we get trash Portia Simpson, we get trash PJ Patterson, we get trash Bruce Golding, and so on. You see me? Because none of them never come to nothing. We have been infiltrated, believe me, but make him carry on.
The keys, or we are opening the road or the bridge or whatever it is. So a former prime minister would say that I am working, 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 working. Imagine this, a gleaming new train.
You mean you're selling out the Jamaican people and their resources because that's all you do, Andrew Holness. That's all you do. You're a mockery. Seriously, you're a mockery of a people's representation. You have been the worst prime minister we've had so far. Yeah. Well, those are my thoughts.
Speeding along the Jamaican countryside, while connecting Kingston to Montego Bay in under 2 hours. Palm trees blurring past the windows. Farmers hauling fresh produce to markets without endless traffic jams. Tourists exploring the island like never before. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, what if I told you this? Dream is inching closer to reality. And the driving force? Behind it might just be black gold from the waters off Guyana, funneled through China's ambitious global playbook. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating geopolitical stories unfolding in the Caribbean right now. China isn't just investing in Jamaica. They're talking about reviving this island's historic railways. And the money, the momentum, and the strategy, it's deeply tied to the explosive oil wealth surging through the wider Caribbean, especially Guyana. Stick around, because this isn't just about trains. It's about...
I wonder who realizes this trend. You notice it's never an African country investing in Jamaica, but always either China, USA, shit real, and so on. Why can't people that look like us invest in us? Well, it's actually a quite simple question. Because in idea, them hold you back so much in so many ways, bro. It's not that we don't have rich, powerful black countries, but because they are undermined and they are actually sabotaged. You see me? Yeah, in all ways. Everywhere possible they are sabotaged.
power, prosperity, and who really shapes the future of the islands. Let's start at the beginning. Jamaica's railway story is older than most people.
Hope you heard what he just said. Who shapes the future of the island? Which should be us, the people, the aboriginals. I'm not talking about this the made up story of Africans that they have brought here. No, that is ludicrous. We were always here and we've been here. Okay? Whether you want to call us Thanos or Arawaks.
Realize, back in 1845, Jamaica became one of the first places in the Western Hemisphere outside the United States and Canada to get a railway system. Those iron tracks once carried sugar, bananas, and people across the island, knitting together communities and powering the economy under British colonial rule. But over the decades, the system fell into disrepair. By the early 1990s, Regular passenger services had basically ground to a halt. The tracks rusted, stations crumbled, and Jamaicans got used to relying on crowded buses and expensive roads. Fast forward to today, and there's real talk of bringing those railways back to life on a modern scale. Recent discussions point to ambitious plans for passenger and freight services, linking major cities, with serious Chinese involvement on the table. Chinese firms have expressed interest for years. Back in the mid 2000s, deals were explored with China Railway, and the Jamaican government even announced intentions to build new stations with Chinese financing. While those early efforts slowed down, the conversation never fully died. Now, in the 2020s, momentum is building again. The Jamaica Railway Corporation has been actively exploring revival options, including partnerships for rehabilitation. There are technical cooperation projects supported by international bodies like the Inter-American Development Bank to study how to make rail viable for both passengers and cargo, reducing emissions, easing traffic, and boosting efficiency. But whispers in the region suggest China is positioning itself strongly as a key player, offering financing, technology, and construction expertise.
Alright. I'm not gonna lie, I see the benefit of this. It can help speed up transportation, it can help speed up production for factories and companies and so on, and etc. But let's be factual. If this is being revived in Jamaica, who's going to control it? Is it the Jamaican people, or is China going to buy out the whole system, the whole contract for the system? That is where I'm mostly concerned, because one thing I'm sure about in Jamaica, we don't own anything. We, the people, don't own anything. It's always some outsider coming in, buying this, getting this lucrative contract, being offered this, and getting the chance to head this or whatever like that. It's never the people of Jamaica. It's never the people that look like me or the people that share the same skin color as me. It's always some high color um, puppet from somewhere coming in with their money, being controlled by some entity investing in our country, taking our resources from us. That's how it's always been, and that's what we need to stop, and that's what we need to fight against. Because we the people, we don't own anything in Jamaica. Let's be factual, we don't even own our houses that we pay rent and mortgage for. They're all owned by Queen Elizabeth. Yeah. Or that new guy will take over in England. Hope him know we not respect for him. No time, nowhere, no how. You hear that? Oh.
Through companies like China Harbor Engineering Company, CAIC, and others already deeply embedded in Jamaican
A grime till the day we die. You don't know that.
infrastructure. Why now? This is where the Caribbean oil wealth comes in, and it's a game changer. Just a few hundred miles away, Guyana has gone from one of the poorest countries in South America to an economic rocket ship. Thanks to massive offshore oil discoveries, ExxonMobil, Hess, and crucially, China's own Zichanauk are pumping hundreds of thousands of barrels per day from the Stabroek block. Production has skyrocketed past 900,000 barrels daily. With ambitions for over a million, Guyana's economy has seen growth rates topping 40% in some years. Billions are flowing into the
Homework for everyone who's here. Guyana, alright, Guyana is producing this much oil. How many barrels of oil daily? And I'd like you guys to check out how much of the profits go back within the country. That's your homework for today. Let's continue.
Natural Resource Fund, and the country is investing heavily in infrastructure, diversification, and regional partnerships. China is right there in the mix. Sinus's 25% stake represents one of their biggest overseas commitments. Around 17.7 billion invested so far. Chinese companies are building roads, bridges, and ports in Guyana. Trade between China and Guyana has surged into the hundreds of millions, even billions when you count indirect flows. This isn't isolated. Across the Caribbean, Chinese investment in energy, mining, and infrastructure is creating ripple effects. Here's the strategic link. Oil wealth in Guyana isn't just
As I said, I'm not I'm not gonna frown upon these these advancements that are being made in the Caribbean or Jamaica, but the only thing that I'd like the people to be wary of is who's going to be in control of all these resources. Because if it's not going back into the country, we're being plundered. We're being looted. And that is what we are trying to stop. We, the people, need to come together and fight for the people and for our country. Fight for sovereignty, our resources, and our wealth. But in idea, it don't look good for all these people keep on us coming out country. These shit reals, cause let's be exact. They are the ones that are doing it. It is no other ethnic group but these people. Sometimes they may come looking like Indians, they may come looking like black people, they may come looking like um whatever race or group, but it's always the same ethnicity. It always is. Sometimes they come under like these guys that they're probably Christians or they're Hindus or they're Muslims. But if you dig deep enough, you realize that they're shit reals, they're Zionists, okay? Yeah. So these are the people that are trying to control our countries and our wealth. And we as the people should prevent shit like this, because once they control our countries or they control our parliament or our government, we become like America. If you notice what America is, it's all for the corporations. It's not about the people, it's about how much money they can extract and suck out of the country for themselves. Check out on a daily basis how many money is sent to shit real. Whether it's by their companies, whether it's by export, whether it's by whatever services they have, but most likely sometimes it's being donated to them also. Just check it for yourself, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry for the misinformation, but I know I'm not. So let's continue.
Staying local. It's boosting regional economic confidence, trade, and the ability of Caribbean nations to take on bigger projects. Chinese financing models often work through resource-backed arrangements or broader Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) frameworks. As Guyana prospers with Chinese partnership, it creates opportunities for Beijing to expand that model to neighbors like Jamaica. Chinese loans and investments in Jamaica already top several $billions from the north-south. Highway built by Chiec to ports, stadiums.
Many people don't understand how these companies work. How are they so successful? How can they how do they always know how to solve our problems? Well, this is allegedly what I'm about to say. It might not be true, but there's some truth to it. But let's be factual. Sometimes these problems that these countries are having are being exfoliated by these people. Because let's face it, these people have a lot of people under their umbrella are working for them, whether contracted or people that they can just call in on basis. Sometimes even these people, there are sometimes no records of these people working for their companies. So what I'm getting at is that sometimes these people are sent into other countries undercover to do covert missions. And these missions basically are missions that it's either espionage or probably some extraction, or a mission that's basically to to make whatever they're working towards work. Like for instance, to create a problem and then to create a solution. Because that's how these countries work. They create the problem, then they present the solution. And we, like the idiots that we are, we accept it. Because it said that basically they're saying that we don't have the resources or probably the manpower or the brain power to fully assess the situation. And to me, that is an insult. Any Caribbean leader or black leader that goes out of their way to set any international or continental um, connection, to me, that's really, I'm not caring anybody wants, but to me, that goes against the country. Because let's face it, let's use Jamaica as an example. 2 million people in Jamaica. That's what is done. That's said by the survey, right? 2 million people in Jamaica. And if we got 2 million people in Jamaica, you're telling me that not even one person out of the 2 million knows how to solve the problem? Get out of here. That's precise what I'm saying. There is at least 10 people in that 2 million who can solve that problem. but the government prefers to outsource all of these work or whatever, just because they can do tax write-offs and stuff like that and put some money in their pockets, while at the same time being a detriment to us. That's all it is, nothing more, nothing less. It's all about how fast they can get rid of us. But let's carry on.
And industrial projects. Reviving railways fits perfectly into this pattern. Big, visible infrastructure that locks in long term influence, trade routes, and economic ties. Think about it from China's perspective. The Caribbean sits right in America's backyard, but it's strategically vital for shipping lanes, resources, and expanding global reach. Railways in Jamaica wouldn't just move people and goods locally, they could integrate with ports where Chinese companies already have stakes, like the Kingston Container Terminal, operated in partnership with China merchants. Port. Better rail means cheaper. Logistics for bauxite, sugar, tourism services, and even potential energy exports if regional grids expand. It's infrastructure that
This is what I'm talking about. How does a foreign entity like China, USA, Shitreal, Germany, and so on come into Jamaica and own prime real estate or companies or partnerships with some of our biggest monopolies within the country? I told you, bitches come in, create the problem, and then present the solution. It's that simple. Believe me, who might think it's more, it's nothing more than that, bro. They create the problem, then they present us a solution. And most of these people that are heading our departments within our country, some of them are next of kings to these people. Because if we check back with history, from when most of these people came in, they came in under a guise and they also came in with a plan. They were actually sent over by families from other wealthy families within other countries. So they were sent here with riches, with a stipend load of money to do shit. Okay, so when you are here and you're wondering how you can't establish your company or build your company like this, bro. Believe me, bro, these people have generations of wealth, they have generations of help, they have generations of history. So me and you with our three grandfather back in our past can't compete with these people. These people have genealogy up to 1600s and possibly further, or possibly from the start of time. So bro, we competing with these people, bro. It's kind of ludicrous. We have to come together, actually get them out of our country. Yeah, because most of the people them that head the companies in our country, Jamaica or whatever the Caribbean, most of these people, they are from some rich family way out in some other country. They are just sent here to control our country. They are the branch in our country.
pays dividends for decades. For Jamaica, the benefits could be huge. The island struggles with heavy traffic congestion, high fuel costs, and uneven development between urban centers and rural areas. A modern railway could slash travel times, create thousands of construction and operational jobs, stimulate tourism beyond the beaches, and help farmers get produce to market faster and cheaper. Imagine freight trains, carrying goods from the interior to export hubs, reducing reliance.
Imagine, this sounds all good. They coming in, making things better for us, improving our services and stuff like that. It sounds so good on paper. If only they weren't taking such a big chunk out of our money. That is why our country is always left burdened. Because if they stipulate their services to us, they are expecting this big portion of our food or of our money. That's why it is so hard for our leaders or puppets, because they aren't leaders or puppets, to like, well, they aren't even trying to help the countries, they're trying to fatten their pockets, they're trying to enrich themselves and their kids.
On trucks that damage, roads that pollute the air. Environmental wins too, as rail is far greener than road transport. Of course, ordinary Jamaicans have mixed feelings, just like in Guyana. Many are excited about development. Finally, something big for the people. You'll hear in markets and online forums. New new stations, better connectivity, and the prestige of modern trains could feel like entering a new era. But others worry about debt.